Definitely one of the best parts of DC Fandom was the much anticipated Zack Snyder's Justice League panel, and all I have to say is that it did not disappoint. Now, although the trailer was leaked before the actual panel, that doesn't mean that fans were any less excited, and that we left the panel not learning anything new, because, man, did we learn some cool stuff. What is going on, all you nerdy folk out there? My name is Jack, and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Snyder Cut of the Justice League movie that we saw during the DC Fandom, and we'll be analyzing it for a bit so we can fully understand all of the Easter eggs in it. We also have a video where we talk about the Easter eggs that made their way into the Batman teaser trailer, so why not check that one out after you're done here. Anyways, let's talk about the Snyder Cut. Number 10, DARKSEID incoming. A character who's been teased in the DCEU for so long now, this trailer starts off incredibly strong with a full-on shot of DARKSEID in all his glory. With a completely new design bearing an Omega symbol scar on his chest and his trademark helmet, we see him in the forefront with a fleet of Apocalypse ships behind him ready to cause some serious damage. This shot is likely from a deleted scene of a fight between Ares and DARKSEID, showing him triumph over the God of War here, and this seems to be confirmed in a way as DARKSEID is seen driving his weapon straight into the camera, which in my mind insinuates that he is finishing off a foe. Now that could totally be speculation, but honestly you can't convince me otherwise. Number 9, alternate future? At around 18 seconds, we see a completely ruined city that is all framed by a broken Justice League sign, likely indicating that the specific portion of the movie that takes place there is an alternate timeline where DARKSEID succeeds in taking down the Justice League. Now, if you're a hardcore fan of DC and the Justice League, then you probably noticed that the sign is very similar in design to the Hall of Justice, the home of the Super Friends, meaning that Snyder is likely letting us know early on that this is not the Justice League that you're expecting. This scene also correlates heavily with the nightmare sequence that we see in Batman vs Superman, as the imagery is basically identical and both feature an Omega symbol burned into the ground, which is, kind of DARKSEID's moniker. So has Batman's worst nightmare come true? Honestly, only time will tell. Number 8, the Joker Easter egg. Moving ahead just a few seconds after the shattered Justice League sign, we catch a glimpse of one of the Joker's playing cards flying by, which is a nod to Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker. This in a way confirms that the Joker is alive, or at least was alive in this universe, and gives DC the chance to try again with Leto's portrayal. The Joker is so often tied to the nightmare future, and this isn't actually the first time that the Joker has been linked to the nightmare future that we first glimpsed in Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice. During that version of the future, Ben Affleck's Batman carries a gun with a Joker card strapped to the side. Snyder previously revealed this Easter egg and is now just reminding fans of the possible implications by having the card float right across the screen. Number 7, CYBORG'S life. One of my favorite parts of the trailer is that we actually get a look at Victor's life before becoming Cyborg. Now we're likely going to get to see the football match that leads into the car crash that kills both his mother and him. Later on, it cuts to him digging up a grave, which honestly could be his own grave or even his mother's because of how visibly upset he seems, as he's so tortured by the fact that he's not only lost his normal life, but his humanity as well. That's what many fans out there have been theorizing, but it is also likely that it is just Clark's grave like in the theatrical cut. Either way, it's pretty messed up, and I can't wait for the reveal when the cut is released. Number 6, Back in Black. Easily one of the best Superman costumes out there, hands down. If you're not familiar with Superman's black suit, it's one that he wears upon his revival in the comics, and it allows him to absorb the radiation of the sun, where his powers come from, a lot more vigorously, making him all the more powerful. Snyder wanted to introduce this costume so badly in the theatrical cut of the movie, however, once Whedon took over, that idea was completely scrapped for his classic red and blue color scheme. Without the famous mullet that normally goes along with this costume, it is very likely that this is in reference to that suit from the comics, meaning that Superman might be getting a pretty sweet buff. Not that he really needs it though. Number 5, Iris West. Snyder from the very beginning wanted to introduce Barry's love interest, Iris West, because she is such a staple character in Barry's life and would only further his heroic development. However, she was unfortunately removed completely from the theatrical cut. Thankfully though, with the Snyder Cut, we get to see her and the Flash share a decently intimate moment. Barry Allen harnesses the Speed Force to burst through the window of what seems to be like a nursery. As the glass shatters, a car is seen flipping over while the driver is completely thrown out, and Barry is able to save the driver in time, and it's revealed to be none other than Iris West. The car then explodes in, classic Snyder fashion. I would personally love to see this relationship explored at least a little bit before the Flash solo movie, and honestly, this seems like the perfect place to do it. Number 4, R.I.P.D. After we see Cyborg doing a little grave digging, we get a shot of Batman perched on a statue that bears a resemblance to the Grim Reaper, being a hooded, decrepit skeleton. A sign is fixed to the statue with the text "To Protect and to Serve" written on it. This could be a statue on the GCPD building, and it could be symbolizing the fall/death of the justice system thanks to DARKSEID and his army. This could also be subtly indicating that Batman will be one of the few to survive the outcome of the film, as both he and quote-unquote death are looking down at the rest of humanity. Now I am guilty of reading way too far into things, so don't take my word for it. Only Snyder can let us know exactly what's going to be happening. Number 3, Willem Dafoe's Vulko. At one point during the trailer, we see Aquaman's armor and trident laying at his feet and water flowing everywhere, indicating that all of this is taking place in Atlantis. With such a heavy focus on the atmosphere of Atlantis and the fact that Willem Dafoe's Vulko was originally supposed to appear in the theatrical cut of the film, makes us all think that there is a great chance that this character could make it into this cut. This is all followed by a shot of Arthur leaving his conversation with Mera into the ocean depths. Mera looks off at him with a very worried expression, possibly because he's gonna go to fight Vulko. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Number 2, the Flash's capabilities. Now I could definitely just be speculating, but it seems like the Flash is going to be featured pretty heavily throughout this cut. Like I said just a little bit ago, Barry's love interest is going to be introduced, but the trailer also seems to indicate that the Flash's powers and connection to the Speed Force will get explored more as well. It's obvious that this Flash knows how to time travel because that's how he warns Batman about Darkseid and all, but that is not the only part of his connection to the Speed Force that's going to get explored. At one point in the trailer, we see the Flash surrounded by smoke and lightning while he is just vibrating and not moving at all. This is the first real hint at his unseen potential, and it gets explored a little bit more in the trailer, with Barry tapping into and utilizing the Speed Force. Power courses through him, shown through massive energy surges coming from his feet with each step. The Flash is one of my favorite heroes ever, so I really hope he gets the screen time he deserves in this cut. And number 1, the music. Now this is probably something that a lot of you weren't paying attention to, as it is non-diegetic music, meaning you're not really supposed to notice it. But I am a huge music nerd, so it was one of the very first things that I noticed. Throughout the entire trailer, a very solemn and grim cover of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah plays, and there are definitely 2 ways that I myself interpreted it. It creates this juxtaposition between the song's joyous and uplifting message in order to emphasize the darker tone that Snyder is known for, which really helps solidify that this cut is going to be pretty different from the theatrical version. And then the second way is that the celebratory nature of the song reflects how the Snyder Cut has finally become a reality, and this trailer solidifies just that, so hallelujah indeed. Well, that'll be it for this video, everyone. Why not let us know in the comments below any Easter eggs we might have missed, or just what your favorite moments were in the trailer. Now, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd to stay up to date on all things nerdy. And while you're at it, why not ring that notification bell so you know whenever we upload a video. As always, my name is Jack. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure to stay nerdy, my friends. If you are interested in some darker content, then why not head over to one of our new channels, Top 10 Central Dark. The description is below, and honestly, if you want to know more, here's a preview.
I don't know. I don't trust.
What is he looking at? What is, okay, what is I've never been more scared of a squirrel in my life.
It feels like my heart's gonna explode.